Hello everyone, today I'm in Merrickville, Ontario, and I'm going to take you on a historical tour of all my favorite historical things to see and do here. Alright, let's go check it out. Okay, so now in front of me is the infamous Mill Street that has tons of shopping and restaurants and other interesting things to see. But first I'm just going to read you a little short description about the historical significance of Merrickville. So right here in front of me is a tourist map that is super handy, which lists all shops, dining, and accommodations, services. There's a map, and you've got a short description of the history of Merrickville. So I'm just going to read that to you before I start actually showing you the sights. So, William Merrick, a loyalist settler originally from Springfield, Massachusetts, founded the village of Merrickville in 1794. Attracted to the site by water power, he constructed a dam across the river and then built grist, saw, and carding mills. It was not long before a community sprang up around the milling activity. In 1821, Merrick built a stone house overlooking his mills. When the construction crews arrived in 1827 to build the Rideau Canal, the village of Merrick's Mills, as it was then known, was a thriving community of about 300. A plaque was erected by the Merrickville District Historical Society in remembrance of an unknown number of persons who were buried in the McGinnon Cemetery between the years of 1800 and 1900. Many died of pestilence, principally malaria, during the construction of the Rideau Canal. Unlike most of the pre-canal sites, Merrick's Mills was not displaced or overshadowed by canal construction. After the canal was completed, the excess water once again turned the wheels of the mills, and improved transportation system caused a surge in commercial activity in the village. By 1851, Merrick's Mills was an impressive industrial center. Merrick's Mills continued to thrive into the mid-1860s. The end of the community's industrial growth is closely related to the decline of the commercial phase of the Rideau Canal. The rise of nearby town of Smith Falls as a major railway hub displaced Merrick's Mills as an industrial leader in the region. Despite the decline, some industry continued in the community. In 1915, a power company was formed at Merrickville to provide electricity for the mills, and a foundry and the woolen mill continued to function until 1954. Okay. So just a couple more things I wanted to show you before we start the tour. So, dubbed the Jewel of the Rideau, Merrickville is known for its location on the banks of the famous Rideau Canal, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The locks here are still operated by hand every day from mid-May to mid-October. Watch from the shore or experience them from the deck of your boat. You can even rent a kayak for the day or take a longer trip on a houseboat. When visiting Merrickville, you can find a myriad of activities to enjoy, whether you want a relaxing vacation or one filled with new adventures. Take a walk down the Merrickville Dam Trail or Rideau Walking Trail. Visit the Rideau Bird Sanctuary. Rent a canoe or kayak for a paddle along the river. Skate on the village ice rink and enjoy the wondrous outdoors that Merrickville has to offer. These great outdoor amenities are perfect for your furry four-legged friends as well. And lastly, Merrickville boasts a number of important historic sites. The Merrickville Ruins are the remains of old stone mills dating back as far as 1790, and just behind them you can see an original hydroelectric turbine generator. Take a stroll through the village to see some of our beautiful Victorian architecture and heritage homes, or arrange for a walking tour guided by locals. All right, so now I'm going to officially take you on a tour of my favorite historical sites. So right here is an absolutely gorgeous church right on Mill Street. It was built in 1890 and it is now called the Pews. And on my left here, we've got the Blockhouse Museum. There is a sign just here explaining it, so I'm going to read it to you in a second. So here's another shot of that beautiful church. So the Merrickville Blockhouse Museum, was built in 1832. This is one of 4 blockhouses, which, with some 12 other defensible buildings, were constructed along the Rideau Canal. The canal, built 1826 to 32 by Lieutenant Colonel John By, Royal Engineers, was designed to serve as an alternative military supply route from Montreal to Kingston in the event of war. The Merrickville Blockhouse was completed in 1832 to accommodate some 50 men. It was never this scene of military action, but has served as lockmaster's quarters, a church, and a canal maintenance building. Restoration of this fine example of early military architecture was completed in 1965, and it is one of the 2 remaining blockhouses on the canal which have retained their original forms. Okay, so I'm just gonna give you a tour around it so you can see what it looks like from all sides. Now, unfortunately, this museum is only open in the summer, and I am here in October. So it is closed. I won't be able to go in at this time. So I will come back next summer and do a full tour of this museum. But I wanted to show you the impressive sights of what it looks like from the outside and all these surrounding historical sights to see. Right, so this is what it looks like on the outside. On the left, in a second, you will see that we are right next to the Rideau Canal. So this is a great view of the church and the blockhouse. And you will see, I'll get up closer to it in a moment, but you can see that there's an impressive Rideau Canal locks that we can explore as well. So this is the Rideau River. Right, so before I explore that further, I just wanted to show you that there is some interesting Rideau Canal information here that we can read before moving on. So, the Canal Twins. These 2 canals were constructed in the early 19th century for military reasons. Both canals grew into commercial highways, survived as recreational waterways, and are now important heritage resources. Rivers, lakes, and cultural landscapes of scenic beauty are features of these canals. Scottish stonemasons employed during canal construction have left their mark on the built heritage of these 2 areas. Today, the Rideau and Caledonian canals are internationally significant tourist destinations for boaters and land-based visitors alike who come to boat, fish, walk, enjoy nature, visit museums, relish history, skate in winter in Ottawa, and hunt monsters. I like that they included that. And here's one other sign. So the Caledonian Canal of Scotland, engineered by Thomas Telford and completed in 1822, is twinned with the Rideau Canal to commemorate their historical link, purpose, and function, and to recognize the enduring importance of canals to communities the world over. All right. Now I'm going to take you for a closer look. So it's not just for function. I will show you in a moment, but you can actually walk across, which is a really cool experience. So here, it's a closer look of the Rideau River. And the canal. And then you can see how right next door is the Blockhouse Museum. Right, so hopefully it's picking up on camera. You can see that on the other side the water is much higher, and then you've got the lower water on this side. Okay. So here's what the Blockhouse looks like from the front. So again, it is closed mid-October to spring. So unfortunately, we can't go in today. But there is some interesting information here that I can read to you about it until I can come back next summer and give you a full tour. So the Merrickville Blockhouse is one of 4 blockhouses constructed on the Rideau Canal. Its architecture is a typical design utilized throughout British North America. The 3.5-foot walls were designed to be strong enough to withstand small cannon fire with a pyramidal tin sheathed roof to withstand torching. The impressive stone lower half of the building measures 50-foot square, making it the largest blockhouse on the Rideau Canal. The upper level overhang, derived from medieval fortifications, allowed for maculated defense. The loopholes cut in each hewn square timber wall are long and narrow but tapered within, allowing the defender a greater angle of fire. Originally, small defensible lockmasters houses, such as those constructed around 1841 at various lock stations on the Rideau Canal, were to be built. However, Lieutenant Colonel John By, the Royal Engineer in charge of the construction of the Rideau Canal, thought these insufficient. Lieutenant Colonel By's proposal for 22 large blockhouses was rejected by the Board of Ordnance because of the exorbitant cost. In 1831, Lieutenant Colonel By, of his own accord, started construction of 4 blockhouses that were completed by 1833. The Merrickville Blockhouse was a primary concern to Lieutenant Colonel By when the province began to upgrade the Prescott Road decreasing the wilderness buffer zone between Canada and the United States. The defensible building could staff 50 men in the barracks, while the lower stone half could house ordnance, arms, and ammunition. The building, designed to defend the Rideau Canal from American aggression, was never permanently staffed by the military, although during 1837 Upper Canada Rebellion, the 34th Regiment briefly took residence while en route to Fort Malden. Right. So here are some schematics of what it was like, what it's like inside. Here's some historical images. Okay, so next we're going to have a fun little experience. We're going to cross this lock gate to explore some other historical things on the other side. All right, have fun walking with me across this. Definitely don't miss this experience. It's kind of fun. All right, we are safely on the other side. Okay, so you can see in front of me the sign, Rideau Canal, National Historic Site of Canada, the Merrickville Locks. And here's another view of the water and a dock. Okay, so the next interesting thing to see in front of me is the Merrickville Dam, which helps to control the water. So here's the sign. It's a little hard to see, but I'll give you a view of the crazy rushing water. Right, and we can walk across here. Try and give you another view of the water. It's super intense. All right, so next we're going to go explore the Merrickville Ruins, which are conveniently directly across the street. It is a very popular thing to do here, so don't miss it. Right, so here's the sign, the Merrickville Ruins. So let's go explore them. So there's this really helpful and interesting display here. You can see that it's a map. So at the top it says 1860. Okay, and then here, so we are here. And then it gives, so there's numbers next to each building and it tells me what each item is. So I'll just move over here. So you can see that this is the Blockhouse Museum that we were just at. We crossed the river here. All right, so number 2 up here, this is the foundry. Number 3 is the tannery. Number 4 is the flour mill. 5 is the sawmill. 6, I think that's a 6. 6 is cooper shop. And again, I had just shown you already, but 7 is the blockhouse. And then 8 is the grist mill. So this is 8, the grist mill. And then of course the waterway that I showed you is, that we're next to, is the Rideau River. Okay, so here we go. As you can see, it's each building is kind of in various levels of decay, but you can definitely clearly see where the buildings were. There's a pathway. And then on my right, there's more remnants. This building is in great shape. It's in the best shape of all the buildings. And this is kind of neat. You got an entranceway. I will show this to you more in a moment when we go down to the water. I'll just give you a quick peek of what's over here. So yeah, down there is the river. Okay, let's continue exploring. So this is what it looks like from the other angle. I'm filming this in mid-October, so it's, you know, the leaves give it an extra nice ambiance. If you're curious as to a good time to come visit, but you can come here any time of the year. And the back of this building, to me, is the most interesting. It just has such an ominous vibe to it, especially during Halloween spooky season. Unfortunately, the gates prevent me from getting any closer, but I can still show you. So even though it's in the major state of decay, It is just a really fascinating ruin to look at. All right, let's keep going. There's some more interesting things to see. I'll just give you a quick peek of what's over here. See the water. And there's a nice waterfall there. All right, so to my left here is super interesting to look at. There is a sign I can read to you that explains it. Generator. This hydroelectric turbine generator operated in the nearby power station from 1915 to 1993. It provided electricity to factories on this industrial heritage site and to the village of Merrickville using the energy from the adjacent waterfall. The Heritage Merrickville Foundation recognized the heritage value of this industrial artifact and jointly with Ontario Hydro and Parks Canada undertook its display on this site in 2011. On the initiative of David Hemmons, the Friends of the Merrickville Turbine was formed to undertake the repair of weather-related deterioration of the unit. In 2012, ownership was transferred to the Friends, which is now responsible for its continuing upkeep. Right, so I'm just going to do a little tour around it and give you a closer look of the details. It's definitely a really fascinating historical engineering artifact. So don't miss it if you come here. I am lastly going to show you what the rapids from the dam look like from the other side of what I showed you originally. And this is what the other side of the building looks like. So this is a really cool spot. But of course, be careful, there's rushing water. So, if you remember the dam and rushing water I showed you earlier, so this is what it looks like on the other side. That's the bridge. Okay, and then, so over here, that is Rideau Canal, Lockstation, and I'm going to give you a better vantage point of that in a moment. Right. So lastly, you can walk over here and see one last perspective of the ruins. And so this takes us back to the beginning. And so this is what it looks like from the other side. It's definitely an impressive sight. So don't miss it if you come here. All right. So I've shown you all of the Merrickville ruins. So next I'm going to show you the Rideau Canal and Lockstation, which is right next door. It's really nice that all the attractions are walkable. So just cross the bridge. Okay, here is a higher level vantage point of what I showed you. So here's the rushing water. Super neat to see. Okay, and then so now we're gonna go check out the Rideau Canal Lockstation, which is next door. All of this is on Mill Street. Right? So, just to help you get your bearings, so right here again, we're back at the Blockhouse Museum. Okay, and here we go. Here are the locks and the Lockstation. It's super beautiful. So it is possible to walk down there. So right here in front of me are the stairs to get down there. So just take these stairs. All right, I'm gonna continue on the tour. So again, right in front of me is that really gorgeous church that's at the corner of Mill Street, and it is now called the Pews. It's definitely impressive architecture from all angles. Right, so in a moment, I'm going to take you down here and show you what the shopping district looks like. Right, so again, there's the sign. It's now called the Pews. All right, so before I show you the shopping district, there's a couple of interesting historical things to look at over here as well that I recommend you see when you visit. Just show you quickly on my right Fulford Academy. It's in a really lovely historical building. Right, so this is the first thing I wanted to show you. I'll show it to you in more detail in a second. I'm going to read you the placard here that gives you lots of information about what it's about. So, in 1925, the first of 9 stone cairns were erected at Deeks Quarry by the Dominion Construction Company, owned by Harry Falconer McLean. These cairns were built across Canada to honor the workers who played an essential role in building modern Canada. At a time when infrastructure development was physically demanding and often perilous, the cairns served as public monuments to acknowledge the contributions and, in some cases, the sacrifices of the countless individuals whose labor made Canada's progress possible. So here is a historical image. So, over the years, the Deeks Quarry cairn fell into disrepair due to vandalism and neglect. Rediscovery of its history and interest in preserving its legacy grew steadily since early 2000, when plans for its restoration began. Approval and ownership issues hindered restoration initiatives. That cairn, accessible by foot or bicycle along Scotch Line Road, still stands today. It is built of rock likely sourced from Deeks Quarry and was originally adorned with 4 large bronze plaques displaying the poem The Son of Martha. Those plaques have long since been lost. In 2020, a project was launched to create a faithful replica of the Deeks Quarry cairn in Merrickville, bringing this remarkable story back into public view. A team of community members and engineers from the Thousand Islands chapter of Professional Engineering Ontario mobilized to make the replica a reality. The Merrickville Wolford Municipal Council supported their efforts and approved its installation on Main Street. The replica matches many attributes of the original cairn, including its dimensions, exterior design, and the inclusion of the Sons of Martha poem. And lastly, the Merrickville replica cairn stands as a tribute to the engineers and builders whose work has shaped Canada's roads, railways, bridges, and communities. Although the first cairn was built a century ago, its message endures. The foundations of our great country are laid by those who built it. And here's a great photo. All right, and now I'm just going to give you a closer look at what it looks like. There's some interesting things to see on it. So as it was just mentioned, this is the Sons of Martha poem. In loving memory of those who died and worked here. All right, so definitely don't miss seeing that. So next we're going to go check out this historical house, which has some very interesting architecture and historical significance. That's what it looks like from this side. I absolutely love the gingerbread architectural detail on the roof. There is a historical sign I can read to you in a moment when I get there. Unfortunately, we can't get inside this home. I wish it would be nice if one day they made it accessible to the public, but right now I can show you the outside and I can read you this sign right here. So, the founding of Merrickville. In 1793, William Merrick, 1760 to 1844, a loyalist from Massachusetts, acquired from Roger Stevens a sawmill at the Great Falls on the Rideau River. Here, he built new mills, which formed the nucleus of a small community that grew up before 1816 and was known as Merrick's Mills. The establishment of new settlements on the Rideau and the building of the Canal, 1826 to 32, stimulated the growth of the village. Streets were laid out and a post office named Merrickville was opened in 1829. By 1850, the community contained about 700 persons, 2 flour mills, a cloth factory, and other industries, and was incorporated as a village in 1860. All right, now I'm going to show you the shopping district. Cross to the other side, because there's some interesting things to see on this side as well. Sorry for all the traffic noise. This is definitely a busy area. Here's that church again from a different angle. All right, so the first store I recommend right in front of me is the caramel shop. If you enjoy treats like me, I definitely recommend you pay this store a visit. It is super cute from the outside. I'm just gonna show you. Super cute. And I'll just show you the sign to entice you. And right next door, there is this, it's closed right now, but there is a really nice arch walkway here, historical arch walkway to a really lovely sitting area. to have a meal or a drink. So this building on my left is called Lockstation. There's the sign. Okay, and then right in front of me is a very famous store called Witch Apothecary. I'm sure you've heard of it before. You can visit it any time of the year, but it's especially interesting to go visit it during the spooky season. They've got all kinds of I would call them witch and magical things to see in there, if that is of interest to you. Okay. Just give you another view of this interesting historical building. And how cute is this one? So, Harry McLean's Pub. So on here you can find everything from food to shops. Right? So like this one is a jewelry store. And this is Anarchy Gallery. Look at how cute it is on the outside. I'll just take a step back so you can see it. It's just super cute. So if you enjoy shopping in little towns, this place is for you. So here you've got the downtown cream and candy shop. Here you've got Merrickville Food Town, which, because it's October, it's all decorated for Halloween. And so here you've got the Village Bean Coffee Shop. All right, I'm just gonna take you up to there's like well, I won't tell you quite yet, but it's a very interesting historical park, I will call it. All right, so on my left here, Mrs. McGarringle's, and this place is of definite historical significance. The Goose and Gridiron circa 1856. Definitely recommend trying out. It's a restaurant, pub, and patio. I love the phone booth, the red phone booth. It's not often you see these in Canada. So super fun for a photo, Instagram photo, if you're into that. And here's the patio. It's the end of season. And then right next door, you've got a fudge store, Merrickville Fudge. So if you're like me and you're a chocolate lover, that one's for you. There is also some food trucks over here, if that's what you're into. All right, we are finally arriving at the park I told you about. So here are the streets, so you know where I am. Right, so let's explore some of the historical things in here. They definitely in a different context than what I've shown you so far. All right, so then there's a few things in here that we can explore. It's kind of an extra hidden gem, so don't miss it. Right, so this is in loving memory of those who served and died 1914 to 1918. At the top, get you closer. And then here's the honor roll of those killed in action. And then 1939 to 1945 killed in action. Korean War, 1950 to 53, in loving memory for those who served and those who died in the conflict. Afghanistan, 2001 to 2014. So rest in peace to everyone that served in the Canadian military. Okay. So next there's a placard over here I can read to you. Merrickville's Vimy Oak, this oak tree, planted on May 13th, 2017, descends from acorns gathered after the Battle of Vimy Ridge, April 9th to the 12th, 1917. It honors the memory of those who served, including 3 soldiers from Merrickville who died during that battle: Private Thomas John Irving and brothers Lance Corporal William Graham Knowles and Private Hugh Lloyd Knowles. This plaque was unveiled on July 1st, 2017 on the 150th anniversary of Canada. So here's the tree. I'll just back up. Okay, and then there is a couple more things to look at over here. Right, and if you enjoy Canadian military history, I do have a full video of the Canadian War Museum that is in downtown Ottawa. I will link it to this channel if that is of interest to you. Right, and there is one last thing to look at here. So Merrickville Public and Continuation School, 1873 to 1965. This school bell is a replica of the original tower bell. Is placed in this cenotaph park in celebration of our school reunion, July 1995. That's pretty interesting. All right, I am going to now take you to one other historical significant place that I would like to share with you. So stay tuned. I will show it to you in one moment. Okay, the last thing I'm going to show you today is the Rideau Lockstation and locks. Right, so I'm just going to take you on a little walking tour. Right, so here is the Lockstation. Okay, the Rideau Canal, National Historic Site of Canada, Merrickville Locks. Right, so there's the bridge that I took you over at the beginning of this video. Right across the street is the Blockhouse. There's that Pew's Church I've shown you. Here's the water. And maybe you might be able to see in the distance, but there's the Merrickville Ruins, just to give you a better perspective of where I am right now. Here's the other side. Right, so I'm going to show you the Merrickville locks now. So you can see, as I get closer, just how high the water is on this side. It's super pretty around here this time of year with all the fall leaves. You can see up close the water. Okay, the locks are a really impressive sight on camera and even more in person. So then you can see how the water is much lower on this side. So don't miss coming down here and exploring. Right, so first I'm just going to show you an up high view before I go down. But check out that. You see how all the different levels of water that the locks for boats to come in and out. It's quite the impressive engineering. Just show you this angle. All right, so again, a fun experience is you can walk across. So even someone as like me who has a little bit of fear of heights can handle it, but definitely be careful. So this is the view from up high. It's so beautiful. All right, let's keep going across. So there's more stairs here to get down even closer. All right, so this is what it looks like from this side. So fascinating to see how well it controls the water levels. Okay, I'm just quickly going to pan to my left. Might not be able to see very well, but I will try. So over here is where the Merrickville Ruins are that I showed you earlier, and where I showed you the rapids. So this is just another vantage point of what the rapids look like. And then there's the bridge and the dam over there. All right, I'm gonna keep taking you down here. I'll show you very carefully here. This is what it looks like. Again, look at the two water levels. All right, so we are officially coming to the end of the tour of the historical district of Merrickville. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. I highly recommend coming here. I came here on a day trip from Ottawa. Okay, so if you enjoy videos about things to do in Ontario, Canada, please subscribe to my channel. Until next time, happy travels!